Well, and just in case you haven't noticed, this is an election year. Republicans are dead set on taking back both the presidency and the Senate. Democrats are focused on the abortion issue to make sure they remain in power in both the Senate and the White House. Well, CBN's chief political analyst, David Brody, shows us what's behind the strategies.
Since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022, Republicans have found themselves on defense politically. That's because Democrats have weaponized the issue in an attempt to scare voters about extreme GOP policies in a post-Roe world.
We're almost there. You're gonna make it.
Trump Republicans want to criminalize young Alabama women who travel for reproductive care.
Miss, I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle, take a pregnancy test.
With ads like that, the Biden campaign hopes to reach suburban and independent female voters this fall. Former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard tells CBN News her former colleagues are playing dirty.
We're already seeing the kind of fear-mongering that the Democrat elite are doing to try to scare women into voting for Joe Biden based on these insane ideas that have and ads that are not rooted in reality in any way, shape, or form. We will see if people fall for that fear-mongering that Democrats are pushing forward.
Regardless of the tactics, Republicans understand they have a potential problem on their hands. 6 in 10 independents are unhappy that Roe was overturned. In 6 key battleground states, 11% of voters named abortion as the most important issue, nearly the same percentage as immigration. Overall, 63% of Americans say abortion should be legal in all or most cases. And when it comes to moderate Republicans, that number reaches 67%. These stats have forced some Republican candidates to slightly shift their stance on the issue. Meredith McGraw is a reporter for Politico.
We have seen how the Republican Party has really struggled with how to articulate its position on abortion.
For example, Arizona Senate candidate Carrie Lake once called abortion the ultimate sin, and she supported an Arizona law that called for prison time for anyone involved performing an abortion. This is Lake from 2 years ago.
We have a great law on the books right now. If that happens, we will be a state where we will not be taking the lives of our unborn anymore.
As the saying goes, that was then, this is now.
This total ban on abortion that the Arizona Supreme Court just ruled on is out of line with where the people of this state are.
In Washington state, former Congressman Dave Reichart voted against federal funding of abortion and carried a 100% rating with National Right to Life. Now, running for governor, he's softening his tone.
I want you to know where I stand on abortion. As governor, I will not change Washington law on this issue because I do not believe any politician, regardless of personal belief, has the right to make that decision for any woman.
On the national level, pro-life groups aren't happy with Senate leaders like Mitch McConnell and John Cornyn, who had consistently backed national limits on abortion. Now, with Roe v. Wade out of the picture, they maintain the decision should be left up to the states. Former President Trump feels the same way and also calls for exceptions to abortion. For one recent pro-life gathering, he recorded a 2-minute video message without speaking on abortion at all and didn't even use the word.
We have to defend religious liberty, free speech, innocent life, and the heritage and tradition that built America into the greatest nation in the history of the world.
For Trump, that strategy makes sense, since he believes abortion politics hurt the GOP in 2022 and could do so again.
It really hurt the Republicans. They didn't know how to talk about the issue, and now I think they're learning how to talk about it.
Last week on Capitol Hill, he told congressional Republicans to follow their heart on abortion, but to do it in a way that makes sense to voters.
It seems to me, just being a political observer, that he's an art of the deal type of guy. He understands that it's not a, quote, winning issue for Republicans right now, and so why double down? And it just seems like that's kind of the strategy at this point.
I think Donald Trump is really trying to find some middle ground here and give himself some wiggle room so that he can appeal to the evangelical voters who have continued to be loyal to him over the years, but also make appeals to more moderate voters who have a different position when it comes to abortion.
While he's considered by some evangelicals and pro-life leaders as the most pro-life president, 2024 is a new environment. No pro-life ballot initiatives have won since Roe was overturned, even in red states like Kansas. Abortion measures will also most likely be on the ballot this time around in the key swing states of Nevada and Arizona. So what's the solution for Trump and the GOP? Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders tells CBN News it's time to use a strategy of both reason and offense.
And I think we have to talk about it in ways that people understand, that makes it relevant. Quit going on defense. We so often apologize for our position when, frankly, we're on the right side here. I never want to apologize for defending one of the most vulnerable populations in our country, and that is the unborn. And so I'm not going to do that. And I think that the more that we go on offense instead of cowering and allowing the left to define our position and make us out to be the bad guy, the better off we're going to be.
That game plan seems to be in line with party insiders.
Something I keep hearing from Republican strategists is they felt like in 2022, Republicans didn't go on offense enough when it came to the issue of abortion. They felt like in 2022, that should have been a lesson learned and that more should be done in 2024 to go on offense with Democrats.
Right now, though, Republicans are back on their heels, and if they don't move from that position, it could cost them dearly in 2024. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.
Well, please let your voice be heard. Please make sure that you're registered to vote, and please participate in the process. My fundamental problem with Roe versus Wade is that unelected judges decided for us what our culture would be and what our society would be. It's always been the goal of the United States that we, the people, get to form our government and get to decide what society we're in. I am pro-life, and I base that on deep conviction. I also base it on the history of the Christian church. Look at this wonderful document. It's from the 1st century. It's called the Didact, and it means the teaching. And it instructed the early church on how Christians were known. One of the things Christians were known for is they took care of children and they took care of orphans, and they would actively look. There was a practice of the time that if a father didn't like a child after it was born, it would be exposed and would die. Wild animals would come. And the Christians would actively look for that and take those children in. But in the didactic, it's specific. It's not, it says Christians do more than that. Christians are against abortion. Because abortion's been around a long time. It used to be accomplished through potions and that kind of thing. And you look at these documents, and the reason we value life is that we understand it comes from God. I also understand children are our future. So how do we have a society where we encourage mothers, that we say, we want to stand with you. We know it's hard giving birth. We know it's hard raising children. We know it's expensive. How can we help you so that we can have a growing, wonderful society that values humanity, that says, yes, we want children. We think they're a tremendous gift from God. That's the America I want to live in. So any crisis pregnancy center you see, please support them. They're doing wonderful work. Anyone involved in adoption, anyone who is taking abandoned children, anyone who is doing foster care, please help them, because we need it as a culture to say we take care of the least of these.